crisis.
Congressman, as you may have just heard, the White House is considering federalizing the Texas National Guard, which could mean a direct clash at the border between federalized troops and the state authorities. Are we going to see a confrontation?
Well, Stuart, that'd be a huge mistake for the Biden administration if they do that. The last time any National Guard troops were federalized was during the Eisenhower administration and the Little Rock Nine. And if Joe Biden does this, he maybe, go down in history as the Mexican drug cartel 9 million, because there have been almost 9 million people that have crossed the border illegally over the last 3 years under his watch. So I think politically it's a disaster. I think from a policy standpoint, it would be a horrible move. But we'll see. But this administration has done both those things. They've made bad policy decisions, and they've made bad political ones.
Well, how do you see this playing out? There's got to be some kind of resolution at some stage here. What's the resolution?
Well, what would be wonderful is some Trump-era policies worked very well. Wait in Mexico. I was down on the border, Stu, a few weeks ago, and the Customs and Border Protection agents were telling us if Joe Biden just instituted the Wait in Mexico policy, that we would see a 70% reduction in the flow of illegals to our border. But he refuses to do that. He has the power, he has the tools at his disposal right now under executive authority to solve this, not even crisis anymore, really. It's a cataclysm. He chooses not to. It boggles my mind.
The Senate.
Shalom. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Racha Kodash. I want to give double honor to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone, and peace and mercy to the 144,000 and the rest of the elect. I'm the brother Yawanathan, back with another quick lesson, Lord willing, it's edifying. And the big question is Joe Biden going to federalize the National Guard on the U.S. border in Texas? All right, because the state of Texas, the governor of Texas, he's already talking about seceding from the United States. And there's 25 states, from what I heard, that they're pretty much back in Texas on this crisis issue on the border, because they're saying about, I think, 9 million illegal immigrants have crossed the border in the last 3 years under Joe Biden's administration. Now, is this just political propaganda, for the elections? We know that they always have something going on, and some type of, not some type of, but multiple crisis, that pretty much gives these up and running presidential candidates something to talk about, something for them to go back and forth on, and to basically sway the minds of the people and keep them distracted, because it's all really a show. The presidential elections of America, it's all a show. It's not, these presidents are not elected by the people. All right, that could be a whole nother lesson for another time. But the point being is that, is this a false flag event? Is this part of the Black Swan, series of unfortunate events that's getting ready to take place, which I'm hearing a lot about between the months of March and May of this year, 2024, the year of Jacob's trouble? Is this going to be it? I hope and pray that it is. I'm really hoping, I hope that it is. I hope that these things pops off, because I heard also that, the brother Quadash Shapat did a video on it last year, 2023, but they're saying that emergency funding that the feds created last year when Silicon Valley banks collapsed and things like that, that is supposed to be expiring March 11th, 2024. And I also was listening to some podcasts and the People's Voice, the Money GPS, the economic, what's this guy's name? I forgot his name. The Economic Economist, I believe it's something like that, on YouTube. And these guys were talking about if they extend the funding, that's really not going to solve any issues, and it's just going to show that there's an even deeper problem than what is being told to the public. So you got all these things going on heading into this month of March. We at the end of January. I think today's January 27th, 2024. And, things is looking like it's going to heat up on that border, because Biden, he's basically threatening to send or to federalize the National Guard and send them down there to that border to basically take the barbed wire off and to stop state troopers, or I don't know exactly, state police or state troops from blocking the border, which they're basically deeming it as illegal because they're saying that according to federal law, the borders are open under Biden's policies. You know, the borders are open. There's really nothing illegal that's going on in the borders, but you know, the American people, they feel otherwise. You know, they don't agree with all these so-called illegal immigrants, you know, coming into the country. And you see what's going on in these different sanctuary states like New York and other places, and where these immigrants are being sent to, and they over here pooping in the parks, man. I heard they leaving pee bottles all over Manhattan, you know, all over the parks. They vandalizing their so-called committing crime. If any of this is true, you know, it could be all propaganda, but I would say that it's not too far-fetched, because these people that are coming from where they're coming from, they used to crime on a regular day basis. You know, they, you know, coming over here, what Jake call it sweet, especially over there in Chicago. We know about Chicagoland, what they call Chirac, and how them Jakes over there is really just, you know, they say the thing savage, and then we say, oh, you niggas want to call yourself savages, and but they are savages, all right? That's a fitting title. They're demons and savages. And even the police don't like going out there to them different you know, gang territories in Chicago. They don't answer phone calls over there. You know, so I say that to basically say that when people from Chicago come over here, because I be in tune with like the podcast and, you know, the black culture. Not that I'm like into the black culture and I don't practice it, but you see what's going on in Jake's communities, and they call it sweet out here in New York, man. Now in the 80s, you know, New York was known for heavy gang violence and, you know, all that type of stuff. But, you know, now in 2024, obviously you do have violence again increasing, but compared to like Detroit and other parts of the US, I mean, they call it sweet over here, man. Jake will call it sweet. So these immigrants be coming over here and they just be robbing people. From what I heard, they just stealing shit. They walking up in people's houses, you know. So yeah, it is becoming a problem. And you know, you have a lot of states, I don't know exactly, I guess they would be considered red states, you know, the Republican states like Texas, and they really don't want this happening. So they're getting ready to stand up and use whatever laws the state, the governing state of Texas has, all right? But we know that state laws do not supersede federal laws. So that's where you have Biden threatening to basically use his executive power and basically call federal troops, federalize the National Guard to basically get that whole situation under control. But they're saying that may erupt into a civil war in America. All right, so let me get to the scriptures. Enough rambling. You know, I'm on the road, obviously, so it's going to be brief. These scriptures are going to be quick, to the point, but you see what's going on, man. You know, you heard the clip, and Lord willing, let's pray that, you know, something comes out of this, because it is leading right into the timeline of March through May, when the World Health Organization, they want that what is it called again? The Pandemic Preparedness Treaty. They want that thing signed, all right, which is basically the major nations of the world, such as America, China, Russia, etc., India, to forfeit their powers to the WHO, all right, and basically for the next pandemic that's coming, which they saying is disease X. I call it disease 666. All right, but this is Isaiah the 19th chapter, and I'm gonna start at verse, let me see, verse 2, because this is a scripture that's dealing with civil war. Isaiah 19:2, and I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians. We know that Egypt, modern day Egypt, spiritual Sodom and Egypt, according to Revelation 11:8, is America, Babylon the Great. All right, it's also called Babylon the Great, or Mystery Babylon, or the Virgin Daughter of Babylon. This place has code names in the Bible because the word America didn't exist at the time when the men of the Lord, like Isaiah the prophet, received his visions. All right, he saw the visions of an American civil war. That's what we read about. All right, because again, that's America. That Egypt, modern day Egypt, is America. And they shall fight everyone against his brother and everyone against his neighbor. Yeah, because of these political wars, man. Because you got people that are left wing, right wing, Democratic, Republican, conservative, liberal, etc., etc. You got all these people who are basically have conflicting beliefs and ideas, and they want to implement it because this is a so-called democracy here. They want to implement it into law. So they go out and they protest, or they go out and rally. They do petitions. All right, they try to get the higher ups, through the legislative, judicial, and federal branch. If I'm not mistaken, that's the three branches of the American government. They're trying to get them, to pass certain laws, to put certain policies into effect. For an example, you had a big thing last year about the abortion, all right, in America, whether it should be legal, whether it should be federalized. The law should be made federal, which means that even if a state wants to practice abortion and they make it legal according to their state constitution or state laws or whatever, the federal law could then cancel that state law out. So this place is just a big bunch of confusion, and it's painted to look as if everyone is you got this side and that side, but everybody's really on the same side, okay? Because you all have to obey the federal government at the end of the day, all right? And the people don't make the laws, man. People don't really have as much power as they think they have here in America. But they ready to go to war for their thing, man. You got the patriotic Edomite so-called white men who are, like Bible Belt. They believe that the Constitution of America is a righteous law according to the land, and it's founded off of the Bible. So they're ready to fight for that. They're ready to fight to keep their guns, to keep their freedom of speech. And yet you have people who, they don't really care. They letting the government and even these unelected officials such as the World Health Organization and the WEF and so on and so forth, they letting them just take their rights. They have no problem with giving up privacy and rights for safety and comfortability. So you have the foundation of a civil war already. All right, because you do have that, one side against another side. That's the concept of the American government. You got one opposing side, which is the Republicans, and then the Democrats. Okay, so there's a lot of issues going on within this country besides the economic vulnerability. You have the power grid, which is also vulnerable. It's very fragile right now. They're talking about cyber attacks and EMPs, power outages, etc. Hey, man, there's too much going on to really keep up with. But the point is that I wanted to say this in the opening. This is just another straw on the camel's back, and we don't know which straw is going to be that breaks this camel, that destroyed basically this country. Is it going to be because of the banking system collapse? Is it going to be because of civil war? What is it? What is it going to be? Is it going to be all of these things? And this is kind of a facetious question. It's obviously going to be all of these things because the Lord says he's going to plague this goddamn place, man. All right, with famine, pestilence, and the like, the sword. America is over, man. This place is done. If you can't see that, you're completely blinded. If you can't see that this place is done and that this is the end of an age, an end of an empire, an end of a kingdom, a rulership, I don't know what else to tell you. Get ready for the Civil War. Get ready to fight against your own American fellow neighbors, fellow citizens, because you're going to have to. It says city against city and kingdom against kingdom. So yeah, you got different states in America that's ready to go to war against each other, just like the Civil War, man. All right, that spirit is coming back. And this is 2nd Esdras 15 and 16. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. So that's talking about the people rising up against the government, or what you would call an insurrection. Sedition or insurrection, man. The people ain't just going to sit here and allow these things to happen. allow this country to so-called be destroyed, even though it's still going to be destroyed. But the people that's living this so-called American dream, they fighting tooth and nail to keep America in the status that it once had, which it really truly already lost. All right. Once again, this place is already out of here. This is already a failed society, and you can't fix a failed society. There's only one thing left, which is destruction for it, whether that be through war. And I'm talking about historically, whether it be through war or famine. That's how kingdoms get taken down. That's how the Lord takes down kingdoms. That's how Yahweh Shai take down kingdoms, according to Jeremiah 28:8. He sends the prophets prophesies against that kingdom, and then that kingdom falls. All right, and the prophets already been out here for over a half a century, going back to Abba Bivens. So we in the phase now where the Lord is strategically, breaking this country down. And it's happening, the elites themselves are partaking in it. A lot of this shit is scripted, it's fake. And it's fake in the sense that, not that it won't happen or won't have a real outcome, but it's fake in the sense that you got people that really are pouring their heart, their mind, heart, and body and soul into these American political or even foreign political problems, all these different issues and, things they want to debate over and policies they want to create and this and that. And they really think this is all real and it's being staged right in front of them. So when the people find out, and when the government turn its back on his own people, this is what you're going to have, man. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. So it tells you in 2nd Esdras 16 how people are going to turn against each other. Let me see if I can find it quickly. It said friends is going to something like enemies. It's in 2nd Esdras as well. 2nd Esdras chapter 6 verse 24, just to get to the point. And at that time shall friends fight one against another like enemies, and the earth shall stand in fear with those that dwell therein. So this is going to be a global catastrophe. All right, pandemic, which is pestilence, famine, global economic collapse, martial law, international police, United Nations troops, and the list goes on, man. Civil wars within countries that ultimately leads to what? A thermonuclear war on this planet Earth between the different nations of the world, which they calling it World War III. All right, that term World War III has been coined since the end of World War II. They always knew, after they started building atomic bombs, they always knew that there was going to be basically a third world war, in which excuse me, the so-called white man and his atomic scientists, that's why they have the doomsday clock. All right, because pretty much since the creation of the missiles, they knew that the end is inevitable. All right, their end is inevitable. All right, that's too much destructive power. And for this basis of man, this fool who have said in his heart that there's no God, for him to possess this type of technology is dangerous, man. Just to put it, in layman terms, is dangerous. So yeah, man, this whole earth is going to be in a state of confusion and turmoil real soon. It already is, but things are just going to get worse, man. All right, and to the point where people that call themselves friends, they're going to be fighting against each other, man. They're going to be killing each other. They're going to be eating each other. They're going to be killing each other for food. It tells you that, and I just finished reading 2nd Esdras 15. If you keep reading on down, it tells you for the lack of bread and for great tribulation. So there's going to be all type of shit going on out here, man. It's going to be a shit show. And like they say, when shit hits the fan, it's supposed to be a metaphoric saying. But think about it more literally. If you throw a piece of shit into a ceiling fan or a fucking, a propeller fan on the floor, what's going to happen? That shit is going to fly everywhere, man. It's going to get all over everything. All right? It's going to stink up the whole place. You're going to get shit in your fucking face, in your mouth. That's what's getting ready to happen to you people, man. You're going to have to face the harsh reality that Yahweh Bashim Yahushai already prophesied the end from the beginning. And you people thought you was in control of your own fate. You just were proud. You people were so proud here in these last days. Here it is. The Lord already flooded the earth them eons ago, and you people forgot. All right, you people forgot how you died that time when you drowned in that flood. So now the Lord is going to bring the second death, all right, which is the lake of fire, which is nuclear destruction of America, Babylon the Great, and also America launching its missiles at other nations in the world, which is basically why it's called a world war, because all the nations of the world that have missiles are going to fire them off at each other, man. But mainly America is the target. America, which is Babylon, is the target for the Lord's indignation. And you people here that are not a part of the elect, you know, the elect being the 1/3 of the nation of Israel, you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, you're the true Hebrew Israelites. All right, but the rest of you people, 2/3 of Israel and the other nations who dwell here, you people are all gonna burn up, all right, at the end of this tribulation thing, man. At the end of these events, these unfortunate simultaneous events, man, the domino effect, if you will. All right, you people are all gonna die here. You're gonna kill each other, you're gonna eat each other, you're gonna starve to death, you're gonna die from disease, and then you're gonna ultimately be nuked. And that's the judgment of Yahweh Bashim El-Shai for this wicked ass fucking kingdom, man. I can't wait. All right, it's scary, yeah, but you know, Lord willing, the Lord will have mercy on us, man. The hopeful elect, the prophets. All right, so with that, I'm gonna say shalom, and hope and pray you were edified through the Holy Spirit of Yahweh Bashim El-Shai. And Lord willing, I'll see you in the next one.